Hello everybody, and welcome to day 41 of climate change. Over the course of the semester, you have grown so much. You've learned so many things, you've created new ways of thinking, you've learned about how to solve problems that you thought were insurmountable. You've gained the ability to read and interpret technical writing. You've been able to look at policy options and evaluate them from a scientific standpoint. You've taken one of the biggest problems that exists on our planet today and you've internalized it, and you now understand it better than almost anybody else. You've done a lot. I am so proud of how much you've grown this semester. Today, we're going to review for your final exam. And when you take that next time, you're going to get the opportunity to show me how much you've learned. I already know that you've done so much. Remember, we're only doing this because this is what we have to do for school. But the real test of how well you've done in climate change is going to be what you do after you leave the classroom. Our quote for today comes from Anisha Khan, the Executive Director of Sustain Us, who says, "I think the most important thing to remember about climate change is that it is innately unjust. The people who are being affected by it the most, who are women, people of color, indigenous people, low-income families, people in developing countries, in the global south, are people who have done the least to cause it historically. You will be able to demonstrate your knowledge of the climate problem and articulate what to do about it." Today, we're reviewing for the final exam, and you are an expert at this. We're doing whiteboard review again, and your topics are going to be the climate problem and the history of climate science, the structure of the atmosphere and the movement of energy within it, weather versus climate energy budgets, prevailing winds, and ocean currents. Group 3 will be the mechanism of greenhouse gases and their impact on the physical Earth, precipitation, temperature, sea level, and ocean chemistry. Group 4 will be albedo, feedback loops, radiative forcings, and climate models. Group 5 will be the history of climate on Earth, including how we know it. Group 6 will be the impacts of climate change on living things, human and non-human, including ocean acidification. And finally, Group 7 will be what to do about it: mitigation, adaptation, policy, justice, and geoengineering. You are not going to be able to put everything from the class on one whiteboard. Each of these topics is huge. Focus on the themes, the big themes for each of these topics, and maybe any of the little points that were confusing. This is not about detail. This is about refreshing our memory on the big picture. When we come to class, after you've finished your whiteboard review, make sure you ask questions. Of course, you can always come back and ask questions after the class is done, but it will be much easier to ask any last questions about climate change that you have now before you go off into the world on your own. Again, I just want to reiterate how proud I am of everything you've accomplished this year, and I look forward to seeing the impacts you guys have in the world around you.